Hey everyone, welcome to A Great Alternative. In today's video, episode number 5 of the cordage series that we're doing, I'm going to be making cordage from grass. There are actually 160 grass species commonly found in the UK. Therefore, today I'm making this cordage out of a mixture of a few different species. For example, some of the common types of grass in the UK are ryegrass, cocksfoot, sweet vernal-grass, false oat-grass, Yorkshire fog and common couch. So the 160 species might sound like a lot, but across the planet there are over 12,000 species of grasses, making grass one of the world's most varied and adaptable plant species. When identifying grasses, it's important to distinguish them from sedges and rushes. The three plant types are in different botanical families, but because of their similar appearance, they are collectively known as graminoids. I hope I've said that properly. Plants with a grass-like appearance. They are all mostly wind pollinated, so have very light pollen and small or no petals because they do not need to attract insects for pollination. Sedges, rushes and grasses are actually quite easy to tell apart when you know how. The old rhyme that can help you remember the main differences. Sedges have edges, rushes are round, grasses are hollow, so what have you found? Finally, just to clarify, sedges form the Cyperaceae. Don't know how to say that. Cyperaceae? That family. They have solid stems, normally with 3 defined edges in a triangular shape. Their leaves grow in 3 ranks. This means that the leaves grow on each of the 3 sides of the stem in vertical rows. The fruit is called an achene, a one-seeded fruit that does not open to release the seed. Rushes, on the other hand, form the Juncaceae family. Again, sorry if I've said that wrong. They have solid stems that are generally round. Their leaves tend to be clustered at the base rather than growing up the stem. And finally, the fruit is a many-seeded capsule. Whereas grasses form the Poaceae family. Their stems are usually hollow, except at the nodes, and cylindrical. They have alternate leaves in 2 ranks, 2 vertical rows, and the fruit is a one-seeded grain. So I'll say that little rhyme again, see if I remember. Sedges have hedges, rushes are round, grasses are hollow, so what have you found? Grass has got various different types of uses, obviously lots of different various weaving outputs. It can be used for compost, mulch, animal feed. It's normally baled and then used in various ways, like within house building, for walls for example. To harvest it, I would cut it from the bottom. You can be a bit more vigorous with taking it. I would take it, just grab a big handful of the tallest stuff, cut it all off, shake it off so that I've got the tall bits. Obviously I'm harvesting this in an area that is full of grass. So again, I'm not cutting down the entire field for it, but because this is so plentiful, I really wouldn't worry too much about how much you're harvesting at any one go. The reason that I harvested from a few different areas was mainly because I wanted things that were slightly different types of grass, to just see from a weaving perspective if that would make it differ in any way. Okay, so these have been hung up on here for probably a few weeks now. Looks like no moisture has got to them. I think as well with grass, something that helps is that because it dries so quickly, that also does help, unlike I've had in the past with things that don't dry as quickly, that they actually tend to mold more than things like grass. Now, look at that. I got a mixture, as you can see here. I might try and keep some of these in because it'd be quite nice. Like you could imagine making your cordage and then it just has lots. You could obviously, I think the purple one is I think that's the Yorkshire fog, this purple one here, which has lovely purple soft seed heads. I think that would be lovely if you were to make cordage and make it so that it just had a whole, it just had lots of that sticking out. That might be what I might try today, and we'll see how it goes. Whereas something like this, maybe not, maybe not. But we've got all this. I've got a damp towel. I'm just going to give this a real good soaking. I'm not dunking this in water because I think if I was to dunk this in water and soak it, like literally leave it in a bathtub or in a bucket or whatever, or a stream, I think this would get quite slimy and would break down quite quick because again, it's a very, very thin fibre just to begin with. So that's why I'm just giving it a spray and then wrapping it in a damp towel to keep it nice and moist. Okay, so like I mentioned, using a few different types of grass today, and I want to make it similar thickness to this one, kind of around a pencil thickness. Generally, that's what I've been going for this series. And also the method that I'm using is super duper simple. There are different ways of making cordage, 2, 3, 4 ply, but this is just going to be 2 ply, probably the most simple way of making a cordage. Okay, so got a bundle, flip it over. Is it about the right thickness, especially once I start to twist? Yeah, I think so. Keep twisting, keep twisting. You know the drill by now, surely. I have a feeling this one might be fairly fiddly. So I mentioned it in the past in the dandelion video that this thumb here is kind of holding things in place. With some cordages, you can kind of put them on a hook and all you're really doing either, I haven't actually tried, but I've seen people, you can do it rolling it on your leg or on a surface like this, I guess. I find, especially with this, I need to kind of use my thumb to hold things in place and also help me differentiate between the two because there's so many bits of fibre sticking out. What I don't want to do is accidentally mix half of this together and then weave it in so it gets really fat and thin, and yeah, because that's the struggle, is trying to keep things a consistent diameter the entire time. But so far, it's feeling pretty good. I was quite worried that grass would be quite brittle, but so far, so good. And then when I want to add a new piece, let's get this piece here, going in between both of them. So just folding that over so it's gone across both, and then continuing, twist that in, twist, 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 grab it over the top. And then twist, keep going, keep twisting, over the top, and that's now secure. I can tell already this one's going to be a tricky one to keep. There's going to be so many little bits and pieces because I've got so many fibres at any one time, and also a lot of the stems have got leaves coming off of them like this, so it's going to be quite tricky to keep it all in place. But I'm loving the colour so far. It's quite a lovely light green. Okay, so now just a case of continuing. Twist over, twist over. When you're adding something new, add it to both at the same time and then just continue. And through the magic of television, I will have done this. Ready? Here we go. I'm really quite pleased with how this one came out, and I think that's the major thing I've learned today from grass. I'll get on to how it is to make it in a second, but overall, I think this would work as a brilliant accent and just something that makes your thing pop. So, for example, I've got a random weave basket that I've made here. You know, if I was just to kind of finish it off with a bit of this, I think that'd work really well. Or the obvious one is like a crown or something like that, or a wreath. It just adds that extra little bit of texture, and by making it into a cordage, makes it much easier for you to then attach to something like this, for example. So what else have I learned? Super easy to harvest. It's abundant. It's everywhere. Can you make cordage from it? Yes. Does it make quite pretty cordage? Yes. Is it easy to make? Not really, because of having some of these extra bits. It did get quite fiddly, and it's also not the smoothest cordage. I think with practice and time, and then also especially if I wasn't using and keeping these in, it would be easier to make a smoother cordage without all of these extra little bits sticking out. But overall, what do I think? Would I recommend it? Yes, definitely. Grass is so abundant, especially if you get it at the right time of year. It's everywhere, there's loads of it, and it's free. So get out there, go make something and be creative. There we are. What do you think? If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I don't actually have as many subscribers. There's loads more people that watch these videos than are subscribers. So please subscribe if you like these videos. Also, I'm learning, so please give me tips or comments in regards to cordage that you might make, Or what you could do is give me some ideas for what could this be used for? Like, how could this be added? Wreath, basket, headdress? Put your ideas below what you think I could use cordage like this for. Otherwise, that's it for today. Thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Sedges have hedges, sedges have hedges, rushes around, grasses are hollow, so what have you found? Yes, this is my audition tape for CBBC.